Hello, everyone. My name is May-Lynn Andresen, and I am the Director of Community Partnerships for IEC, the Institute for Exceptional Care. To give you a little bit of a background, in case you're not 100% certain, we are a national nonprofit, and our aim is to make healthcare better and safer for people with IDD and their families so they can enjoy the best possible health and live life to the fullest. In our work, we bring together healthcare leaders and people with lived experience, specifically self-advocates, caregivers, care partners, and disability advocates, to the table to work together to create new policies, programs, and approaches to improve care. We consider the perspectives of people with lived experience to be central to all of the work that we do, and we deeply respect their and everyone's expertise, and we are excited to have you as our partners. The purpose of this video is to help you to get an understanding of what our partnership and payment policies are all about. We will also share some background to help you understand other details, like the process for payment and what you can expect. So let's take a little dive into those payment policies and some of the details surrounding them. IEC pays our partners $50 per hour for work on projects, including prep time and for attending meetings. We also have another level of work that is in more of the leadership domain. And for the leadership work, we pay a little bit more. We pay $100 per hour. Let me explain what examples of leadership work activities include. They are all about taking leader roles in our project committees and project groups, like preparing agendas, organizing tasks, overseeing projects, and working on new project materials, presentations, and writings. IEC gets our money to pay for your work and to pay for all the project activities, generally from grant money, from grants from organizations and foundations. And that's what allows us to pay our partners, pay you all for your work. So we have to be managing our payments based on how much grant money that we receive. And for that reason, we can't have unrestricted funds. We have to be really clear so that we have enough money to cover the entire project from beginning to end, from start to end. So we will be really clear at the start of projects and at different time points throughout the project as to what our maximum dollars are available to pay. And we don't expect anyone to do work without being paid. But sometimes people choose, because they're excited about the work, to do additional work as a volunteer. But unfortunately, at this point in time, we must stay within the limits of the grant dollars that we have been offered for each of the various projects. Really important that we have strong communication, and that if you have any concerns that the work you're doing may go over the time that we agreed on, please be sure to bring that to the attention of the program coordinators and the program leads so that we can address that as soon as possible. So what are the steps for getting paid? What can you expect will happen? Well, first of all, we will be asking you as a new paid partner to complete 2 financial forms. The first is called an ACH form, and that form is needed for us to be able to deposit money directly into your bank account. So there's no concerns about checks being lost in the mail, or wrong addresses or anything else. It's a direct deposit and you get the money right away as soon as the check is issued. The other form is called a W-9 form, and that is a form that is required by the federal government and enables us to report the monies that we have paid people, whether it's employees at IEC or consultants and project partners. We are required to do that reporting, and the W-9 form enables us to do that. We will be sending you those forms through a DocuSign, which is basically a way to maintain the confidentiality of your financial information. And it allows you to electronically complete and fill out those forms. If that is something you're not comfortable with, we are more than happy to support you in that process. We also will work with your rep payee, or if you have a guardian, directly with your guardian to be sure that those forms are correct and going into the right accounts and so forth. Please remember that once those forms are filled out, they should only be shared with IEC staff. We really want to protect the confidentiality of your financial information. The next step will be, after work is done, the project coordinators and project leads will track the work that you have completed on a timesheet. We also encourage you to track the time that you spend as well, so that at the end of a month, when we send you materials, an invoice specifically, you can review that invoice against your own records to be sure that we all have it right. Here are pictures of the 2 financial forms that we will be asking you to complete. The one on the left is the W-9. You see the W-9 in bold here in the left corner, and the ACH form is to the right. The W-9 form asks for information like your name, your address, and your social security number, in addition to a signature and a date. The ACH form includes similar information like your name, address, contact phone number, a contact name if it's someone other than yourself, and in addition, your bank information, like the name of your bank, the routing number, and your account number. What about steps for getting paid? Well, as mentioned before, we will be tracking your time on a timesheet. And early each month, beginning after the first month of work that you have done, IEC will be sending an invoice to you or your rep payee or your guardian for review and approval. And that invoice is, again, a list of the hours that you have worked in the past month. IEC will wait for your approval, or if you have information that you feel needs to be changed, we will await your feedback on that as well. And if there are changes, we will ask the coordinator for your particular work stream to take a look at work time records and reconcile or be sure that we are all consistent and accurate so that you can get paid properly for the time that you have put in. Once that has been completed, the IEC program coordinator will send that invoice, final approved invoice, back to us, and we will then send it along to payroll or the finance department. And they will go ahead and issue a check and deposit it in your bank account about 3 to 4 weeks after you have sent us that final approval. And that's what you can expect to happen every month, unless you choose to be paid on a quarterly basis or at a different time interval. What about timesheets and more detail on the invoicing process? Well, basically, IEC will share how much partners can be paid for project work, as I said earlier, in advance of the start of the project. And that includes the work that you might do independently on your own in terms of prep. But we will be sure that everybody is clear on that time allotment so that nobody goes overtime and doesn't get paid for the work that they've done. The time tracking will be done by the coordinators of each group, and they will track it on a timesheet, and I will show you that timesheet example in a short moment. And on that timesheet will be included the partner's name, so your name, the activity that you were involved with, and how much time you spent. And we pay people based upon 15-minute or 1/4 hour increments. So if you spend 15 minutes on an activity, you will be paid 1/4 of an hour. Or if it's a half hour on an activity, you will be paid that half an hour of time and effort. We are asking that the coordinators complete those timesheets the same day of the meeting or the activity whenever possible, but at the latest 2 days after the meeting. So again, this is going to be an important effort in terms of communication between you, the coordinator, and also us at IEC, so that we can be sure that you are paid in a timely and accurate way. If there are any questions, the coordinators can check attendance and get clarification through Zoom reports. So by the end of every single month, the coordinators will review the timesheets. They will total up how much time each of the paid partners' work hours have accumulated, and they will list them in a monthly time tracker. That tracker will be forwarded to the IEC team. IEC will prepare the invoices, send them to you. You will let us know your approval or questions and corrections that you have, and then you will be paid in approximately 3 to 4 weeks after you have submitted your final approval of that monthly or quarterly invoice. Here's a kind of a visual of the process rather than the narrative. So in the beginning, you will complete the ACH and W-9 forms, and you will receive those in a secure DocuSign that we will give you a hand with should you need it. And that is simply allowing you to fill electronically in the blanks and electronically sign and send back to us to keep your information safer than sending via email or fax. Next step will be that the coordinators and the project leads will track your time on a worksheet that we call a timesheet. The coordinators will send the timesheets to us. We will send you an invoice, which will be generated from the information on the timesheet. And once you approve that invoice, we will send that invoice to our payroll finance department so that you will be paid in a timely manner. So just reminders and tips for everyone, coordinators, project leads, partners alike. We deeply, deeply respect your time and lived experience. Everyone involved in our project work. We feel just so honored to call you our partners. We ask that the project leads are super cognizant of not asking more time than people are able to give, and minimizing unpaid time unless the partner is offering to provide that. We are asking that everyone work really hard at communicating, not guessing what each other's thinking, and just being, super clear, not being afraid to ask a question. And we are always about clear communication and welcoming any and all questions. So finally, just want to share with you a couple of the other documents that will be around in this work. First is the timesheet. This is the timesheet we will currently be using. So if you look here, we've got columns, and this is where your information will be completed as you do work. So we'll fill in your first name, your last name, the date of the work that you accomplished, how many hours and minutes you spent, the total time, and what the type of time it is, whether it's leadership or non-leadership, since leadership is paid differently than non-leadership, what the task was that you were involved with, and then finally a description of the work that was accomplished. And finally, here's a preview of what our invoices currently look like. This is what you can expect to see at the end of the first month of your work. And you'll see here it says project partner invoice. So what you will be doing, according to the instructions, is first checking your name and address to be sure it's correct. We will be asking you to then check that the work hours listed in this table below are correct. If you have changes, we ask you to please send those along to us. And if you don't have changes and you approve of the invoice, then please go ahead and also send that information to May-Lynn, mbar@ie-care.org. Once we have a final approved invoice, we will then request that you are paid, and you can expect to receive your payment in approximately 2 to 4 weeks. We welcome all and any questions, and we are grateful and so excited to be working with you as our project partner. Thank you so very much.